Alright, so we've been talking about ratio tables, and this is an assignment we're going to be doing for you guys, or with you guys. So it says complete each ratio table to solve each problem. Let me see here. A principal needs 2 chaperones for every 25 students at the school, or at the school dance. So how many chaperones does he need if 225 students are expected to be at the dance? So, in case you guys didn't know, a little chaperone is something like this, right? It's like an adult that has to be there for each of so many kids. So it says there's going to be 2 chaperones for every 25 kids. So look at these kids getting groovy, right? They're dancing. You need to go outside. Alright, so these guys are dancing, right? Boom, boom. But there's going to be adults there to watch them and make sure no craziness is going on. So what we have to do is we have our rate right here. We have 2 chaperones for every 25 students. And we need to figure out how to turn this number into 225 and then what this number is going to be right here, right? So actually this table, for some reason, it gave you an empty spot here. I guess that's if you guys want to get the unit rate. And the unit rate would mean I turn this into 1. But we don't really need to do that because 25 can actually go into this number. So what we need to do is think. Let me see here. Let's see if this works for me. There we go. So 25 times what equals 225, right? So what are we going to multiply by here? And that's what our question is. So how do I get from 25 to 225? What do I have to multiply by? Well, you can think of quarters, right? Because 25 is like 25 cents. So let's say we got all these guys right here. Right? We have all these peeps right here. But we're actually only worried about the quarters, so let me see here. Bye, Felicia. You guys gotta get rid of some of these guys. Alright, so only this dude with the quarter. And how many quarters does it take to equal $1? Well, that would be 4, right? So I know 4 quarters would be 100, but I'm trying to get to 225. So then 8 would be 200, and then 1 more quarter would be 225, right? So that means that's 8 plus 1, that equals 9. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say I'm multiplying by 9. And I can even check over here. So if I put 25 times 9, I can actually do my math and see, does this make sense? Does this, does it equal 225? Well, 9 times 5 is 45. Bring my 4 up here. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22, which is 225. So yes, I'm going to multiply this by 9 to get 225. So if I multiply the bottom by 9, guess what I'm going to have to do to the top? I'm also going to have to multiply by 9, right? Alright, let me see here. Alright, sorry. The little arrow, they can't really draw nice arrows on here. But that's what we're doing. So if I multiply the bottom by 9, I'm going to multiply this number right here by 9, which is 2. So 2 times 9, that's easier to figure out, right? That's going to be 18. So once I get 18 right here, it tells me. So the question was, how many chaperones does it take, right? How many chaperones does it take if there's going to be 225 students? Well, that means I'm going to need 18 chaperones. So I would write the principal would need 18 chaperones at the dance for the 225 expected students. Right? Something along those lines. That's how you kind of write your answer. And that's how we get number 1. Alright, so question 2 says, Myoku is having a pizza party. If 2 large pizzas serve 9 people, how many pizzas should she order to serve 27 guests at that party? And let me see here. And I don't know about you guys, but this is what my pizza parties usually look like. Right? Dressed up as pizza, eating pizza. Pizza's in the background. Doesn't even matter. I don't know about you guys, but my pizza parties actually don't have 27 people there, but that's what this problem is saying. So Myoku must be pretty popular. But, so let's figure out how many pizzas are they going to need. It gives us the ratio here. 2 pizzas for every 9 guests, right? So if we have 27, how many pizzas are we going to need? Well, let's figure out what times something, or 9 times what equals 27? And if you know your math facts, you know it's going to be 9 times, oh, this isn't the right arrow. Messed up here. Alright, so it's going to be this arrow. I'm bending it, right? I'm connecting it. So it's 9 times 3, right? 9 times 3 equals 27. So if I'm going to do times 3 out here on the bottom, I'm going to have to do times 3 here on the top. I'm talking about right here, my top of my fraction, or whatever you want to call it, my table. 2, right? So 2 times 3, that's going to equal 6. So there's my answer. Alright? You guys got that as well. I'm trying to move this up a little bit. Oh, I messed it up. Alright, so 6 is my answer. I need to order 6 pizzas for these 27 people. Alright, so this last question is, a store is having a sale on CDs. Adrian buys 5 CDs and spends $40. If he decides to go back to the sale and buy 2 more CDs, how much will he pay? So, and what CDs are, guys, in case you don't know, CDs are little discs that go inside these like old Walkmans we used to have, right? And we used to have these, and they were actually pretty big, right? And instead of having these iPhones and iPods and whatever you guys have, we had these to listen to music to, instead of just downloading all our stuff, right? So you guys are living in a different age. You're very lucky, because walking around with these is always this giant bulky thing. That was pretty dope though. Alright, so he bought 5 for $40, so now we have to find out how much is it if he buys 2 or 2 more, right? So what's going to help here is if I can figure out how much it costs just for 1. If I can figure out how much it costs for 1, then I can actually find my unit rate and then figure out how much 2 would cost, right? It'd be easier that way. Oh man. So what I'm going to do here, what I'm trying to do here, is I'm adding to my table. Right? I'm adding the table. Boom. Adding an extra table here. Now, how do I turn 5 into 1? Because I want to know how much it costs for 1 CD. So let's say this is 1. How did I get here? 5, is it times something that equals 1, or is it divided by? Well, it's a smaller number, so I'm going to divide, right? So 5 divided by 5 equals 1, right? And that means if I'm dividing this by 1, this top of my ratio by 1, I need to divide the bottom by 1. I'm going to divide by 5 here as well. So 40 divided by 5 is going to be a number we should be familiar with, just 8. So now I know that. But that's not answering my question, right? Because it's asking for 2 more CDs. So how much will he pay? So I know for every 1 CD, it's $8. So if he's buying 2 CDs, how did I go from 1 to 2? I'm multiplying 1 times 2. And 1 times 2 here, which means I need to multiply this number by 2. So whatever 8 times 2 is, it's going to be my answer. And if you guys know your math facts, that's 16, right? So then, that's our answer right there. We're going to put 16 in here in our box. For every 2 would be 16. So we would answer the question, how much will he pay? We would say Adrian would pay $16 for the 2 extra CDs he wanted. I hope he buys Mr. Farina's new album. Or actually, my stage name was Eraser, right? So we decided in class. And the new album, Beef Broth. Alright guys, rock on. That's how you do these. Hopefully it's making sense to you guys. That's how these tables work. Remember, all I did here is I divided by 5 to get a unit rate, to make it down to 1, and then I multiplied my 1 times 2 to get here. And let me see, let me write times 2. Because 1 times 2 and 8 times 2, and then I got 2/16, right? That's how I got this ratio right here. I know it's a little messy. It's a little hard to do this without those arrows and stuff, but even those can get a little messy sometimes too. Hopefully this makes sense. Peace out.